Here we go.
Right.
Hello.
I was gonna get ready.
Is your chair automated?
No, I have a standing desk that I have my camera on.
Oh, I thought your chair just went down like that. I was
No.
like, what kind of fancy desk chair is this?
No, I have two standing desks in my office. One is where I have all my equipment on, and one is where I do work on.
I didn't know you were such a standing desk aficionado.
I have 3 computers in here. I have 2 standing desks
And a partridge in
and a pear tree.
Anyways, hello everyone, and welcome to the Mr. Pick Me and the Man Hater Show. I'm your host Reagan, aka the Man Hater, even though I don't hate men, and this is
Chesko, aka Mr. Pick Me, who's already been picked. And today's episode is brought to you by tahini. Sprinkle it on some cucumbers. Have you had tahini on cucumbers before?
No.
Oh,
I can honestly say I haven't.
Some lemon juice on them, and then a little tahini. If you don't have tahini, you could just put some salt on it. Very
You white lady.
Yeah. If you can't handle tahini,
Oh, you have some mayonnaise. I know you do.
you can put some mayonnaise. And if you don't
do.
have lemon juice or tahini, you can use mayonnaise and salt.
Like, do you have salt? Be honest. I love seasoning. For the record,
I believe it.
I have some interesting seasonings in my.
Do you like pepper?
Lemon pepper, actually.
Paprika. Would a white person have this? And it's orange Tic Tacs.
I got it from a man on the street who said it was street paprika. I do have paprika. Remember when I was cooking we went to Ecuador and I was cooking Ecuadorian dishes. I have all the seasonings from that. They are good.
Got powdered onion.
I do have that.
Powdered garlic.
Yep.
Those are my 2. I throw those in like everything. It's just
everything. I love paprika. That's a good one. Sometimes I make things too hot on accident. Been doing that. Once you start throwing jalapenos in things, that was my mistake. Was not knowing when you have jalapenos. I was like, oh God, Jesus.
I don't think I have a high heat tolerance until I meet people that really don't have a high heat tolerance. And I'm like, oh, like I felt like such a scam artist as saying I'm Latino with my kids. Cause they were like one day, and I was like, oh no, I don't get to call myself Latino anymore. My youngest was like, this is spicy. And I was like, what is it? And it was ketchup. It was ketchup.
That's pretty bad. I thought when I was a kid, when I was kid, what'd I say? When I was a kid, just one, I said that pizza was spicy because I swear I'm one of those, I think my taste buds are all sensitive.
All jacked up.
Like if I eat something spicy, like my mouth is swell. I'm like, there's like I made pho one time and I really put too much spice in there. And then I put jalapenos and they were sitting in there. And I think it just was getting spicier and spicier. And then as I was eating, I was like, this is so good. I was like, oh, it's a little spicy. And then the more I ate it, I was like swelling. I looked like I had filler put in my lips. But it was so good. I kept eating. Yeah. So.
I think what it is I think I was just figuring it out in my head. I have a higher heat tolerance, but I also have extremely sensitive sense of smell. And so it extremely sensitive. And so I think the combination of so I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't eat that right now because it overwhelms me from a sensory perspective. It's not the heat itself. It's more like usually spicy things or oftentimes have a very strong scent to them too. And so
I love the spicy smell. It's like I just can't handle the heat. Like I cannot do it. And I will also start to lose my taste buds. Like if I eat too much spicy, I'm like, I can't taste this anymore. I think something's wrong.
How do you handle sour things?
I love sour things.
Because I can eat a lemon like an orange. And it doesn't you just put salt in a lemon and just and it doesn't bug me.
As a toddler, she was even under that, she would want to eat lemons, and I was like, It's like,
apparently it's a genetic thing. Some people are genetically predisposed to have less of a sensitivity to sour things.
Oh, I don't know if I'm less sensitive to them, but I love them. Like sour candy.
But if you were to bite into a lemon, what would you do the normal like kind of
Probably,
face
but I'm
or
dramatic.
yeah. Mainly because I need to perform the show. The show of lemon eating needs because you know it's funny. I do have pictures of me like with friends when they were like they would do like lemon. Let's see what happens, and they had
Yeah.
pictures of me like hamming it up because I
Yep.
was like, this is what normal people do when they eat lemons. When then I would go home and just like literally peel a lemon and just.
You're a faker and a phony.
I was a big phony. Goes
What is
back to the.
that? It's from Greece. You're a faker and a phony, and I wish I never laid eyes on you.
It goes by one of my favorite jokes about autism, though. It's like, oh, you have a great personality. It's like, thanks. I made it just for you. Or thanks. It's
I'm
yours.
hearing you.
It's just yours. Yeah, you like. I mean, that's good though. It means you have good self-esteem. You like yourself. I'm gifting you. You.
This is you. Yeah.
This is. Do you remember the dream? This is you. The song.
No.
This is me. Wait. We're different as can be. You and I are nothing alike. What is it? Is day and night. This is me. This is me. Hold on. I gotta look it up.
This is really good for our listeners.
This is great. No. They need to hear This Is Me by Dream.
Okay, we can't play it. No,
Yes, we
you
can.
can't. No, it's copyrighted. We can't play it. You can sing it.
Well, let me hear it and then I can sing it. This is me. We're different as can be. She and I are nothing alike. You're confusing day with night. This is now. No?
What is the premise of this? Like, why are we differentiating? This is me.
I don't remember.
Is she competing with this woman? Is she being confused with this woman?
It's a great question.
I need context, damn it.
I'd have to listen to it again, but I freaking loved This Is Me by Dream. If you are a listener and you also listen to This Is Me by Dream, we are kindred spirits. All right, I'm going to go on another tangent real quick.
No.
I was thinking about this, about how I feel bad for Gen Z. And in a sense that everything had the cringe culture aspect of Gen Z. I feel like this is not me saying negative things about I love Gen Z. But I genuinely feel bad about this. Like there's this fear of liking the wrong things, right? Of like, oh, I really like this band. Oh, you like them, and finding out, oh no, I like the one that's being canceled by this week or for no reason other than
just not liked,
being made fun of. You know, like there's always that new song that everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe you liked so and so.
Yeah.
But like when especially you might be like in between, but were you like in the Napster and LimeWire era?
I was at the tail end of that.
Okay,
for sure.
so you were at the so like when I was in like college, like I got most of my music from LimeWire, and most stuff was
allegedly.
Yeah. I mean, no, I downloaded it for 99 cents on Apple Music, iTunes at the time.
Same.
But I would download it, and everything was mislabeled. So I would find like random bands. I'm like, this is my new favorite song. And I'm like, have you heard of this? And everyone would be like, no. Like my this is there was a running joke. My friends will laugh if they don't listen to our podcast because it's fine. But I was obsessed with this pop singer named Fifi Dobson. Have I talked about Fifi Dobson on here before?
Sounds familiar. So
I might have brought her up before because I thought she was like and I think she made the best pop like album of that era in the whole Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys era. It was so good, but apparently she got like she was big in like Canada and in Europe, and she didn't get picked up here because of racism.
God damn it! It's always racism.
She was a black woman, and they're like, no, we need to focus on like the Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera's that have that white kind of like to the white America appeal. If you look up Fifi Dobson,
I'm putting her on my phone. Bad Boyfriend?
Bad Boyfriend is one of my favorite songs. The whole album's like full of bangers, like from beginning to end. I listened to it like a couple weeks ago. It's so good still. But I kept trying to make, and it was the running joke was stop trying to make Fifi Dobson happen.
It's not gonna happen.
No one's listening to Fifi. I was like, why not? It's so good. We'd be hanging out. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna put. Do you guys mind if I put on the music? No, Jesco.
No, Fifi.
Don't put on Fifi.
That would be me with like movies because I was always
Mhm,
seeing the weirdest like sci-fi 3 a.m.
mhm,
movie. I loved
mhm.
like really weird movies. I really liked Blade 2, which was
Uh-huh.
like this disturbed
Oh,
like
the
I
Blade movies are great. I'm with
but
you.
like their
Yeah,
mouths are
yeah.
opening
I know
up.
exactly what you're talking about.
They're these creatures, and I'd
Mhm.
just be with the girls and be like, "Do you guys like Blade 2?" They're like, "Ew, what?" I'm like, "Never mind, never
But
mind."
yeah, so long story short, I think it was kind of a blissfully unaware era where you could
Yeah,
like where I think there was still obviously we curated music, we had TRL, we had all the
yeah.
stuff that was being fed to us, but it was still just this moment where you could like randomly fall into like I was really into emo music. Nobody I knew was into emo music, but it was fine. That was just the music I was into. Like I was really into like there was a group called Anthony and the Johnsons, which was this really kind of some obscure indie rock group where the lead singer was a trans woman. Like you should Bird
I'm gonna
Girl,
write that down.
it, haunting voice in the best way. Like, but there was a song called Bird Girl. I was like, listen
Okay,
to this, and it's not like the kind of thing you dance to. It's very much headphone music.
sure.
Um, but there was all this stuff, and I was like, nowadays I feel like if I were to do the same stuff that it would be like it would be looked at like, oh no, you're only allowed to like these four bands or and unless you're like cool. I'm sure they still have the cool indie hipster, but I was not cool indie hipster. I was just weird.
I
I
feel
liked
like
random shit.
if I think there's like a double-edged sword. I think because on the
Mhm,
one hand, there's this pressure on artists now they have to go viral, which even
mhm,
Halsey has talked about, which is
mhm,
crazy. Like Halsey, I love Halsey. Halsey has come out and basically said that they decided her record label like your last album wasn't successful enough, you can't make music. If when you ask them
wow,
like why they
mhm,
haven't done an album, that's what she says.
mhm,
So I and she's posted videos I remember on TikTok where she was like, I have to this has to go viral for
mhm,
them to let me do this.
mhm,
So like I think there's pressure now for artists to go quote unquote viral,
mhm.
but there's also the ability to hear really niche music.
That's
Like
the other side of it. I do think the discoverability of random people
mhm.
now is unparalleled at any other part of our life. Like where somebody could just put a music online, go viral.
Like The Hand, that song is
Mhm,
haunting. Let me double check who the name of that person. By Annabelle Dinda? Dinda?
mhm,
It is one of the most haunting like powerful songs
mhm,
and now it's been released like across all
mhm,
platforms but you just get these tiny bits of it so I do love that like music like musically speaking
mhm,
you there is an ability to get to more niche or like
mhm,
smaller artists but as a whole like as just the consumer of things like young people in that generation
mhm,
I do feel empathy for cringe culture
mhm,
and this debilitating fear of being cringe because like the only reason I survived like growing up was I didn't care like
mhm.
it's not that I thought I was cool but like I was just eccentric and like loved theater and was a weird
I
person.
would, yeah, I would add on. It might have been present back then as well, but I didn't know I was autistic, and I was just blissfully unaware that I was like, yeah, I like all this shit. This is
Yeah,
great.
it's like I didn't like if someone
Mhm,
didn't like that I liked it, I was like,
mhm,
well, that's fine. Like that's fine that
mhm,
you don't like it. Um I think now there is so much more pressure to be like to not be
mhm,
cringe.
mhm,
Like there's such a fear of it that makes me really sad because I feel like a lot of people don't branch out. Like
mhm.
there was always popular, not popular, like that social norms, all of those things
Of
existed,
course,
but
yeah.
there wasn't like I guess you could be uncool, but like there
Mhm,
wasn't this huge focus on cringe.
mhm,
Like you weren't there wasn't one word or like now it's hashtag cringe, cringe content,
mhm,
cringe worthy. Like there's just this culture of what is cringe when like at the end of the day
yeah.
it's made up. Like
Mhm,
it's like what's cringe in one place would not be cringe in another. One
mhm,
person could do something and be cringe, the another person could do it and it's literally high fashion. You know what I mean?
mhm,
It's just like I think that's really hard. And I
mhm,
think realizing like everybody's cringe because at some point you will do something that someone else would define as cringe, but as long
Mhm.
as you enjoy it and it's not harming anyone, side
Mhm.
note, like who cares? Who cares? I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
lucky I grew up without the whole fear of cringe.
Mhm.
This
But
is not
it's
at all our topic also.
it's not. Sorry, that was a 10-minute little tangent.
20-minute.
20-minute tangent
Yeah. Hmm.
on nothing to do with what we're talking about today. Today,
Wait, but this might make us
oh,
cringe.
we are gonna cringe at the opinion of these guys about the being an incompetent husband.
Oh.
Theme song.
You want bad advice, man? I'll give it out gladly. I got some good advice for you. No, you don't. Like, no, you don't. I got some good advice for you. No, you don't. Like, no, you don't. Shit.
Ooh, I will cringe at this. I hate this.
Mhm.
I hate this. I already know.
It made me so mad.
Oh no, it's
on
that
it.
bad.
It's bad because you'll see. Here, let's
Let's
go with
play
it.
for the viewers.
You'll see why it annoyed me.
We've had enough tangents.
Mm-hmm.
Moms, be honest. Secretly, do you hope that you go out for a family thing? Do you secretly hope the house falls apart?
Mm-hmm.
To be like, where's mom? Where's the how do we cook?
Yeah.
Where do we find the kids' diapers? What's the school? Like, where are the socks and shoes at? Where does the fabric softener?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody at their job.
Yes.
Hopefully, I think hopes that it does kind of fall apart.
Of course, dude.
Yeah, everybody thinks that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And if your
man.
job is the house, then you secretly hope that falls apart.
Yes.
Versus go, oh, you've been gone?
For sure.
What's his goal there?
I think to be like, look, I'm showing her how much I appreciate her by being such a shitty fucking caretaker whenever she leaves the house. By being able to do it's weaponizing confidence in another package.
Yeah, I think I asked that because I'm like, this is coming from a perspective. I'm just not 100% as to what that perspective is. Like, what do you get out of this conversation? Like, if women were to say, yes, we secretly hope that, like, what is to be gained here?
It's a justification for them being shitty then.
100%.
Yeah.
But I think there's something real in the sense of, I do know women, and I'm sure there are men that do this, but I do know women who do everything at the house. Everything. And they do wish their partner could realize that. And the time that it happens is often when they're away.
I think, and that's the key is the reason why I think it's almost like a trauma response, right? It's like, oh, I'm finally getting acknowledgement that I bring value to this house because of how badly it affected you. When the reality is, if you were showing normal appreciation for your spouse that you should for the work that they do, and that's both of you doing that for each other, then they would all much rather have a situation where they could leave the house and come back and not have to do twice as much work for the next week to catch up on everything they're doing. So it's not that I understand the premise of this, right? About why somebody would feel good about it. I'm not critiquing someone that feels good about it. I'm critiquing men using that as a reason to not be better, to not be an active member of their household.
Well, it makes you wonder because, again, like, it's not just the conversation that I am interested in, but it's also like why someone brings up the conversation, because like underneath it, it's like your secret's safe with us or safe with me, moms. And it's like, okay, I feel like you have that reaction and you are desperate to think that, no, she secretly enjoys it because it makes you feel like less of a failure.
Right.
Like to say that, oh, this is actually a positive, like, even though like maybe she's upset, like deep down, she feels good about it because, this is her job, which is like, okay, so now it's a job. Now we talk about it like it's a
only
job.
when it benefits you, it's a job.
Yeah, exactly. Every other time, do you say it's a job? Do you give her hours? Do you let her clock out? I doubt it. I actually feel like I've yelled at this man on the internet before.
Yeah.
It looks familiar.
The way he justifies it though is like, yeah, my job. I love when I'm like, I don't even understand that concept. Like so I ran a speech and debate program for years, and I had assistant coaches that I hired and that worked with the team. If I had to be gone, nothing would have made me feel shittier than if I was gone for a week or two and I came back and I had to then do everything, right? You know what made me feel good as a director of that program? Knowing that I could be gone for a week, 2 weeks, however long, if a tragedy happened or something I had to be away from, and knowing that the program wouldn't suffer without me, knowing that I had done a good enough job, or like that they cared enough about it, that they were capable enough that I didn't have to then do all this extra stuff just so the program wouldn't fall apart when I was gone.
I think you're right. I think this is very revealing as to their perspective on the world, because it's like, how egotistical do you have to be to really revel in failure and like
Right.
dysfunction? And like, as much as like I agree, like I think it is a job. Like I think, and I think
absolutely.
that should be treated more so as one. But like, we're not talking about like coworkers doing something at work, which I would be, to your point, devastated if I was gone and something bad happened. I would feel really guilty. I wouldn't be like, haha, yeah, shows
Nailed
you.
it.
Like, what kind of place do you have to be in to like revel in that? It's so self-focused. But in this case, like these are kids. Like this is like, if the house falls apart, if the kids are suffering, if the kids are unhappy, like, that's not something moms are like, yay, I love that happened. Like, it completely disregards, one, the pain that the mom feels coming home to that, but two, the part the husband is playing in the dysfunction. Like, if we're talking about jobs, then it's also your job too, isn't it, as a fellow parent? How bad are you at your job that you can't function without her? You don't know where the diapers are? You don't know where the diapers are for your baby toddler in your house? Like, give me a break. Like, you're just so desperate to make it okay what you're doing. And that's the part that's upsetting.
Yeah. Saturday Night Live did a sketch about, did you see that one about like the missing persons? A sketch that came out. I don't know if you.
Oh, yes. I was outside.
Yeah. I was. It's been on. She was gone with no trace. She was like, I told you every day for a week. It was on the calendar. There were these mystery notes on the fridge. It was like,
I had to piece them together like patchwork.
Yeah, and it was just like, put this in the oven at 350 degrees for.
I'm going to my mom's.
Yeah. But that's it's funny because of how real that is. And I was just thinking about the example I gave about the speech and debate program. There was one program I was working for where I felt so undervalued. It was so toxic and so terrible. And you know what? This is the one example when I did leave and they didn't do as well. I felt like I was like, should have known what you had. When I was there, I bet you wish you treated me nicer when I was there. That's exactly what they're getting at right here.
Right.
Yeah, if you are undervalued and treated like shit the entire time for doing all of this immeasurable work, right? This work that is disrespected and so is, then yeah, of course you're gonna feel good. Like, look, because then they're finally acknowledged. Like I said, it goes back to what I said earlier. You're finally being acknowledged that you have value, right? The better trait would be just to value your partner for doing the work that they do, if that's the setup you have, right, in your household, so that when they leave, they don't have to seek out this hidden acknowledgement that what they do is valuable, so that they can just be happy they have a capable partner.
I feel like, not to get too deep, because I know I'm constantly accused of that, there's a lot, like, two like abusery type of ideas here that are really kind of rubbing me the right way. Love it.
Rubbing me the right way.
It's really rubbing. No, it's the wrong way. Tahine rubs you the right way. What was I talking about? Now I'm lost thinking about.
Sorry.
Tahine. Okay.
We're not, for the record, we're not actually sponsored by Tahine. I feel like it sounds like we're actually. I wish, Tahine, if you're listening, we happen to have a Tahine employee in our midst.
Let them know that we love it.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they're saying they secretly like it, it reminds me of like a childish bad boyfriend where, you know, they would blow me like, this is what you wanted, isn't it? You're just loving seeing me fall apart. Like that weird abuser's mentality of like, oh, you just love this. You just wanted this to happen. You set this up to happen because you get enjoyment out of it. Like that is such an ass backwards manipulative way of taking that reaction. And then like the second thing is kind of in line with that, which is we're focusing on the reaction to the action rather than the action, which is such a manipulative tactic. Like, I just made a video about this, but the idea of like, okay, an example being, say somebody's cheating on you and you feel, you know, they're cheating on you. So you go through their phone and you find proof and you say, look, I see this text message with this other woman. And they're like, oh my God, how dare you go through my phone? My privacy? Who cares what I did? This is so much worse. Like, this is egregious. You don't trust me? They make your reaction the problem rather than their action. And that's what we see here, which is like, it's not about the incompetent husband who doesn't know where the diapers are and who can't take care of the kids for the short amount of time that he's with them, because clearly this is an unusual event for him to be alone with them. We need to talk about like, but I think she secretly enjoys it. I think she actually likes it, even though she's very upset. Like, let's be real. You like it. Cause like, Lord knows we need to hear two men on a podcast saying how much she actually loved it. Like, we need more of that in this world.
Cause that's what the women I know are constantly telling us about how much they enjoy having to prepare for weeks to take any time off, you know, for a vacation, about how they love making little manuals and worksheets and prepping their child of a husband to know what to do in case of an emergency and what their schedule is and all that goes on just so they can take a week off to visit their mom or something. You know, it's absurd.
Did you see the mom who left for 4 days?
No.
No?
What happened?
Oh my God. I feel like we should do that video too. So this mom left for 4 days. She comes back. She has, I think, 3 kids. She comes back after 4 days. The daughter's hair has not been changed, meaning she's had no baths. And like, it was like in this, this multiple ponytail formation. So she's just been in the same hairdo. Like, that's so bad for your hair. That's probably painful for the child to sleep on that. Not been touched. Clearly none of the kids have been bathed, which 4 days was pushing it, I think, in any circumstance. The boy is in like clothes that are too small for him. That maybe's one of the other kids. And the baby is in the same onesie. The same onesie that she left him in. It's a baby. And like, it's giving the vibe of like, this is so cute and quirky. And like, of course, everyone's like, hey, this is not funny. This is not good. They're supporting her. They're like trying to be supportive of her.
Hey, just so you know.
Well, yeah, they're like, this is actually neglect.
Yeah, absolutely. And it teaches her that she can't leave again.
Well, and certainly like the bathing's bad, the hair's bad, but like the baby being in the same onesie, that's how small the baby is. It still wears a onesie. Like over 4 days with how babies are, like how much, I mean, I think about how I would have to change onesies like 3 times a day at least.
Oh yeah.
Just with food and all other things. So the idea that this poor baby hasn't been changed, and then people have pushback. And the thing that's crazy is a lot of times I wouldn't even call it pushback necessarily. It's like support, like trying to support the wife and be like, hey, that's bad. Like, you deserve better. That shouldn't be happening. So often the response is as if she and he are being attacked, almost like she didn't invite this scenario in. Like, you put this out there, you presented it. And then they'll be like, why are you getting in my personal life? It's like, well, you kind of posted about it. Well, then she comes back with this long video that's like, my someone in his family died a year ago. And this was the anniversary. So I think he did great. And like, how dare you judge him during this troubling time? I was so proud of him. This has been such a hard time for him. I almost didn't leave on this trip because, you know, the anniversary. And like, I have no idea what went on. I am sure this was a hard time for him. I'm not doubting that at all. But it was like, whoa, what are we talking about here? Like, you
Right.
posted the video. It wasn't like people came out of nowhere and were judging him. And she just was like defending him. It was just so
I
much.
think the issue is, though, because if she had done the same thing, she would have been torn apart as a terrible
100%.
mother, right? Oh, well, she's dealing with mental health. It doesn't matter. You still got to take care of your kids.
She would have had
been ripped
CPS
apart.
called online. I mean, and people do call. Sometimes people call for crazy reasons. Sometimes people call for the right reasons. But like, absolutely, somebody would have called CPS after the 4 days of not change. Like, there's no question. There's so many people on the internet. And like, just the way that she was defending him, and like, like, as much as I do get upset the way these women tend to respond, because a lot of times they attack people who are supporting them. And I think a lot of times the humorous way that they talk about these things makes it very hard for other women to recognize that they're being like mistreated, because if you make a joke of the whole thing, then that just, you know, kind of validates that perspective. And so people, or women who are in bad situations, are like, oh, okay, it is funny. Oh, okay, it's not bad. Okay, like, this is kind of like a joke. And lots of husbands do this, and I don't have the right to be mad. Like, I think that's all incredibly toxic. But I do feel a lot of empathy for these women, because I'm like, do you really think this is normal? Like, if that happened to me, if I came home from a 4-day trip and my daughter had not been bathed, her hair was not changed from the day I left, after 4 days, had not been touched, and was wearing the same outfit I left her in, I would be like, are you well? What happened? Like, do I need to take you to the hospital? Like, what's going on that this happened? Like, this would be a very scary thing for me to find. The fact that she thought it was not only funny, but posted about it. Like, I have so much empathy for women who would think like, oh, that's normal. Like, that have been tricked into believing that that's funny, that's social media content, that's cute, that makes her husband cute. Like, that was the impression, was that this was a cute, quirky thing he did. I feel empathy for women that have been led to believe that, because the way she defended him, like, I 100% believe that she believes that. And I do hold women accountable, and I do understand that now she's a part of the problem. But like, in general, it's so sad how many women have been made to believe that men who are supposedly the providers in a lot of these families are simultaneously babies who can't do basic tasks that parents should know how to do. Like, that to me is so sad.
It's also reminding me a lot of the video you made about Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell. The idea of
The
like they've
100
been
videos I've made now.
Well, no, the most recent one, I think, or maybe it was where they're in the car and she's talking about how, and it's like this idea that you can hear the coaching almost from like a manipulative guy that has been like, no. This is what you are. Look at what you're doing. And so like, if he were to come back and like, you know, or she comes back and it's like, you could hear him say like, well, this is how you know how guys are. Right. And she's like, you're right. That is how guys are. Don't overreact. Come on. You're going to overreact to this. You're going to get hysterical, quote unquote. I'm using that word on purpose, to over this thing that all men do, this biological thing that men, the way we don't, you're just better at it. You're just better at loving our children than I. This is just who I am. I can't help my biology, right? And it's such a bullshit excuse, and it's demeaning to men. It's not just demeaning to women; it's demeaning to themselves, and I hate it because it's so derogatory to think that we're not fucking capable as adults of being an active parent. Right, genderless idea of being a parent that is actively able to take care of your home when your partner goes. I would be if my wife felt the need to make me a packet, because she goes on I usually buy her a trip to visit her friend every year for a week. If she then that very first one is a great example. If she felt the need to like make me a full like bind, because we'll have a house sitter sometimes for our dogs, and we will make them a binder of everything because they
Sure.
don't live here, right? If she felt the need to do the same thing for me, I would be not offended. I would be embarrassed, right? Like
Yeah.
how sad is it that I'm such an incapable loaf on this partnership on our house that she didn't think she could leave me alone for 5 days without the house fall without the need for all of these other things because I'm so uninvolved in my children's lives. Anyway, that's more of a soapbox moment, but
no, I love a soapbox. I'm usually right there with you. So if you haven't seen it, Chesko's, and I'm gonna just explain because I want to talk about a point from that video. So I did a video. There was an interview podcast, like car. It was like they were in a car doing this weird interview thing. Had Dax Shepard, Kristen Bell was in the back, and then the host, I'm guessing. And he brought up a moral dilemma, and he said, "Would it be moral if someone who was married cheated on their partner, but it never affected the relationship in any way, and they never told them about it? Is that a moral choice?" So, Kristen, her response to this is, when I started out, that would not be my answer. Like this answer has changed for me. I feel differently. When I got with Dax, I used to be very jealous, which is always weird. When people relate jealousy and cheating as like they're the same issue, that always freaks me out because I'm like, I know abusers often will disguise their behavior by claiming women are jealous rather than, again, remember how I said reaction versus action, right? You're just jealous versus like, oh, I crossed a boundary with another woman or I'm flirting. Anyways, so she said, I used to be jealous, but I realized, that was just, society and the TV show saying, hey, girl, he cheated on you. You better leave him. Literally, go watch. You can watch the video. It's on my Buckle Up Babes, F the Nice Guy TikTok. But that's exactly what she sounds like. You better leave him. And realizing that, that was society's view, which again, that's not jealousy. That's cheating. And it's just very clear that she's been coached in some way, the way that she's talking about, like she's talking really slow. She's trying to get the right words. I think.
But can I bring up the part that she said too in that clip you posted where she's like, and I was thinking, like what's if he cheated on me versus like if he were to drive drunk with our kids in the car?
He posed
said,
that to her.
Okay, yeah.
Go. No. So this is when she had said she had a problem with cheating. Dax posed her a question. So posed her a scenario or a versus question. So go ahead. What?
But it was basically what would be worse, me cheating on you or me driving drunk with our kids in the car? If I remember correctly, that's what it was. And she's like, and of course, like I could never come back from the driving drunk with the kids in the car. But I guess when you think of it and comparing those two things, of course, that's where they're both shitty.
Well, and she goes, and so then that really put it into perspective. What? No, that doesn't make it okay. Like just because you've brought up something much more horrible, doesn't mean that the other thing's not bad too. Like if you have to bring in this horrible example to justify this other thing, like then you're in the wrong. And so we see this manipulative behavior from men. Anyone can do it, but a lot of men do it to women, which is like this idea of like, well, hold on. I don't think what you think is actually what you think. So in this case, my opinion is that Dax manipulated the situation. It's not you that has a problem with cheating. It's society. Society's trained you to have a problem with cheating. And cheating's not actually even that bad when you compare it to, I don't know, driving drunk with kids. Yeah. Right. It's just like, what? But like, if we look at this, where I feel, which is why I brought it up, is like that we're dealing with the same type of mentality, manipulative mentality, which it's like, no. You're not actually upset when you come home and the house falls apart. You actually like it.
Doesn't that make you feel good? Look how valuable you are.
Yeah.
God.
You're like, oh, for the first time, I'm acknowledging this is a job because I want you to think.
Super mom.
Yeah,
mom.
You're so great that everything falls apart when you're not around. Don't you love that? You secretly like it. You can tell us. Because here's the thing. Some women who maybe haven't unpacked as many things, maybe have more influences of toxic men, are maybe going to think, oh, well, I do kind of feel good. Maybe I do like it. Maybe I do like it when it happens. But it's like it completely ignores the real issue at hand. Just like the cheating versus the Dax cheating idea. It's like, no, the problem is cheating, which is lying to your partner, which is betrayal. That's the problem. And here it's like, no. It's not like, does she like it or does she not like it? It's what did you do? Which is you were not a good parent. You were not a good partner. You didn't know how to take basic care of your children. Like that's the problem. That's the issue. But they want to like turn it into this totally different thing. And it's really insidious, and it's really detrimental, because I honestly believe women could hear that and be like, oh yeah, like, well, I guess I kind of do like, it's like, no. You don't like it because you like it. You like that you're finally being seen, that maybe you get a hint of validation, that for once in your life, you're being recognized as what holds this family together.
If you were in a situation, an environment where you are supported and respected and actively valued, not just like value, but like actively shown that you are valued, you don't need these weird implicated scenarios to prove your value, right? That is, and it's totally understandable. That's why I said I'm not judging anyone that was like, yeah, that does feel good.
Sure.
When something like that happens, it's usually though a result because you're in a really shitty situation. I'm sure there's going to be an exception and be like, no, whatever. This isn't about you then. This is about, we're talking about in general here though. I do think it is, if you're in a situation where your value is being shown in any way, it doesn't not just for stay-at-home moms, but in a workplace too. If you're where you are valued, then there is no case. I actually can't even think of a scenario where it would feel good to have to do more work when you got back because everything got fucked up.
No,
You know?
The only case would be, and you wouldn't be, again, you would not be happy that everything was fucked up. It would be like, I feel like more like maybe for once he'll recognize that I do something. That's the only case. And it's not happiness. It's like, it's like desperation. And again, I think you make an excellent point, which is that if all these other factors weren't present, you wouldn't feel that way. If you were supported all the time and you came home to that, you wouldn't be pleased. You wouldn't love it because you'd be used to validation. This would not be new to you. You would simply have the house fell apart.
I don't believe for a second, like it would be also one thing if this happened and then everything changed from that point forward, right? From that day forward, he came home and he was like, I cannot stress how great you make our life, how wonderful you are, all the work that you do. Or is it going to be used as an excuse now to be like, sweet, I don't have to get better. She
100%.
Actually likes it when the house is trashed after going away for the weekend, because that's how I'll show my value going forward, is by continuing to be a shitty, unsupportive partner and father to our kids.
And more men than women are listening to that too, which they're probably pulling the same thing away, which is like when they're shitty and their wife cries, they go to bed at night and they're like, she actually likes it. She's actually thrilled. It's like, no. That's a you thing, my guy. That's what you're thinking. Because again, it's just a way to take accountability away from you and to also focus the blame. Like they're not thinking about themselves then, they're thinking about her. Like her reaction. That's what we're thinking about. We're not thinking about my failures. We're not thinking about like as a father, as a partner. No, we're thinking about her reaction to my failure. That's what we'll think about. And it's all so very frustrating. And like, there's a weird line for so many women, which is like the women that post these things. It's something I've been struggling with because it happens all the time where like the second video I talked about, they'll post it and then they'll immediately attack the internet and double down on their man, which are like, whoa, that's opposite of what we wanted. Like, and it happens again and again and again so many times. I just saw another video with the same thing where this woman was complaining because her husband hadn't talked to her in 2 weeks and they lived together. And she like was just venting about that. And then she attacked the internet when they had a problem with it.
That's not okay.
Yeah. She even said, somebody contacted him about the video, which a lot of times is in defense of her. Like, how many times does that happen where they're like,
Right.
is it this you? Like, you're a bad husband. And like, I guess contacted his sister maybe. And she made a video and she was like, what if he was abusing me and you just got me killed? And you're like, okay, hold on. What? What? Like, so now you're making up that you were abused. Like, then it's backflips, triple back handspring backflips to avoid the truth of the situation, which is that your husband is treating you poorly. And you see it so often. I hate that there's a line to which women can vent and complain about their partners. And then the second it comes to like, okay, but you really should do something about it. Like when it comes to recognizing the actual repercussions and consequences of their actions, the meaningful consequences, like the actual damage that they do, it's like so many women are like, no, we're not talking about that. And it's frustrating because it's like, so can we only like laugh about it? Can you only talk about it if there's humor? Because the reality is you are with someone who does not treat you the way you deserve to be treated.
And I think there's also a difference between, to your point, what you were bringing up about venting, an in-group venting versus how it's being viewed by the out-group hearing it.
True.
Like even with you see this with humor all the time, and it was like, so there's a comedian that does a lot of growing up Latino bits, and it's fucking hilarious, right? I see all my family and the way he does, I'm like, that's so. But then a family member of mine, who's not on my other side, on my white side of my family, said, "Hey, have you seen this? I love this guy. It's so funny." And I was like, what's, and it rubbed me so wrong. I was like, this isn't for you. This isn't I get, and I felt so weird about it because I'm like, I get it. I want you to support him. He's doing great humor. I don't think we're laughing for the same reasons though.
100%.
I think we're laughing because the videos he would send me then were ones that were playing up on the stereotypes. He's like, and like, I'm like, no. Oh, you're laughing. And like, I thought it was funny because like, I experienced it.
It's
right?
your lived experience. You are Latino.
Seeing these things happen.
Yes.
And then versus I was like, I feel like it's laughing at versus laughing
with. It's like a caricature. Yeah. Like I
was like, I don't think we're laughing for the same reasons.
I think you're dead on about the in-group versus the, world at large, because maybe a lot of women do like joke within their friend groups about these behaviors and get a positive response. Like, I get it 100% without it ever reflecting badly on the husband. It's almost like their bad behavior lives in this like bubble where it's like, we know it's bad. Don't you hate it when this happens? What a jerk. But like, it never truly reflects on him. Like it never falls back as to, okay, well, yeah, he's being a bad person. He's doing something bad. It's like the behavior just exists without any blame towards anybody. You know what I mean? Without ever somebody being like, yeah, that's actually really bad that he does that to you. But like the second they almost used TikTok or whatever social media as a journal without realizing the rest of the world is not in this type of relationship. Like, and they're going to see this through the eyes of like not being biased towards like, I'm experiencing this now and I need this validated. They're going to see this as, okay, let's just look at this behavior. And the behavior's bad.
And even if your particular individual in a vacuum relationship isn't actually abuse or toxic, it's being seen and shared and circulated among ones that really are, and now being used as justification to continue doing these really shitty, terrible, toxic things. And so, and it is, I get it. Social media is weird in that perspective. And there's people that have become famous that you can tell are scrambling to catch up on, because they're like, oh, now I'm the voice of blank, this particular topic, whatever it is, and it can go any number of things. And but the only reason they went viral a couple times for being funny, and so now they're expected. So there's a lot of pressure that goes into it, and it's not fair sometimes. Where like, oh, this was I only posted this so my good friends can see it. Nothing goes viral, and I totally understand where they're coming from in that perspective. But once it does, the reality, it is what it is at that point. You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
And I also think accepting that, say in this last instance, the mom who left for 4 days, I think two things can be true. You can acknowledge that the husband is going through something, maybe that he's having a hard time and he did his best. There's a world in which that's true. Like if he's sobbing his eyes out and, is really struggling and he's got 3 kids. I've had death. I remember there was, not to get too weird, but I remember there was a time, my daughter was 2, I think at the time. And this was before she went to school or anything. I didn't have any help. It was just me because my wife was going to work. And literally as she left, I get a phone call that a friend of mine was killed by a drunk driver. And I was like, I was devastated. It was so, obviously it was a shock because it was a horrific thing that happened. And I remember how painful it was being a parent that day. Like I remember like just trying to get through your day when you're dealing with grief. Like I think that's one of the things that's not talked about enough is dealing with grief as a parent, because you're dealing with your own grief. You're trying to shield your kids from grief. They could be grieving as well. I think it's very complex. I'm not downplaying that at all. But even if that's the case, if he was in that desperate of a situation emotionally, there's still the issue of why was it funny then for you to post?
Why are you posting it on the internet then? Especially, it's like, oh, look at this. Remember my husband was dealing with severe trauma and he let our house fall apart? Isn't this great?
It can't be both, right? And like the issue is, why is it funny then? And I think that's the problem, is it's like people be like, it's just a joke. It's just this. It's just funny. It's not a big deal. It's like, okay, but like, here's the behavior. Here's the consequence. Why is that funny? Like, why are you laughing? And why do you expect the world to laugh at you being mistreated? And that's the deeper issue that I think is not addressed, that people want to play off. And like, I wish not only more people talked about that, but like, I wish more women were supported with like I've lost friendships before because they were paired with like men who treated them poorly, and I would not do the bit. Like they would tell me these stories and I would say like, hey, like I don't really like the way you're being treated here. That doesn't sound fair. Like you shouldn't be spoken to that way. And it's like, no, I want you to laugh with me. And I'm like, I don't think that's funny. Like it's hard. It's really hard because like there are things that like I don't think are funny, and I don't think women being mistreated by the person that claims to love them the most is funny.
I think a less serious example was when this is like 4 years ago, I think it was. My youngest, she's only 1.5, something, started going to daycare for a couple hours a day, and she got hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so she caught it, and my wife got sick because like, we don't get hand, foot, and mouth, but like the two, she got really sick, and somehow me and the other 2 kids didn't get it at all. And my wife, and she was like, "Well, thank God, my trip is until next week. I'll be, I should be fine." So they get better, where everyone's fine. Day before she leaves, other 2 kids and me come down, and we're all sick. Not with hand, foot, like I guess it was related. I guess it was technically, but we were just like so
it's not
sick.
As bad, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. But we were sick.
Or it's different looking.
We didn't have the spots. We didn't have.
It's different looking. Yeah, but it's horrible.
But we just got sick. We all got sick with whatever it was, and she left, and I'm with a toddler, 2 sick kids, myself, and we had just gotten a brand new puppy. It was an Aussie, for any of the no dogs, and so that one was absolutely a survival mode trip, right?
Yeah.
She was gone for 5 days, and but I still changed my daughter's onesie, right? I still or whatever, her clothing. They were still bathing my kids, right? Even in that situation where it was like, but it was, there were things like I did, the dishes were in the like piled up.
Right.
I do the dishes
of
normally.
course.
And my job in our house, like we have to divvy up different chores. I'm the dishes guy, and so like I just didn't do.
I'm the dishes guy.
I'm the dishes guy, but I didn't do the dishes at all when they were gone. It was like,
oh hell no!
I was like,
you gotta let it go.
No. that is just there. But so there were things that piled up. So she came back and the house wasn't in great shape because of the fact that I was sick as a dog and just in survival mode. But she didn't post a video online saying, look at my husband. Look how shitty. Look at how horrible this house was. Oh,
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
It was very like positive. It was very strange. She's like, oh, he's in the same onesie. Her hair's the same. It was like, I'm like, girl, I don't think this is positive though. I had the same thing. There was one time my wife had like, it was a work trip, like flowing out. I think it was Las Vegas. Like it was wild. You prep for the year in advance. Like it's this whole thing. And so I was like, you can't cancel that. And both of us, me and my daughter, got this horrendous stomach flu. Like fever and vomiting. It was like a horror movie. You're just dragging myself, like changing the sheets, every towel sheets, like doing 8 loads of laundry, trying to keep things clean. It was fucking horrible. Nothing got done around the house, but my daughter was clean. Like that's the thing. Like everything can fall apart, but I'm going to take care of my child. Like she's going to be clean.
Right.
You just can't have it both ways. And I think we need to stop like these like women wanting to live in this kind of gray area of like, well, my husband did this sucky stuff, but he's not bad and I'm not bad and we're not bad parents and it's not actually bad, but it's funny. But it's bad enough to post about. It's like that's not flying as much anymore. And I don't think it should. And like I don't think she should think it's funny. I don't think she should have found that acceptable. And like cute. Like I honestly feel like so many of these women think it's cute. That's the last thing on my mind. I think it is infantile, but I don't think it's cute. You know, like that's what scares me.
It's the whole bar solo like personified, you know, and even with like little, it doesn't have to be these big grandiose things too. Like I think of like when my middle daughter, when she was like probably 4 or 5, I realized that I didn't know how to braid hair. It had just never come up in my life. I was like, I had no idea how to do it. And I tried, and it was funny because I also have dyspraxia, so I don't have great like hand-eye coordination. And so I was doing it, and I was like, oh my God. But once again, I was so embarrassed I watched videos, I practiced, and to the point where I'm not an expert, right? I'm not going to enter hair braiding competitions or anything like that. But I can braid my daughter's hair now because there were situations sometimes where I needed to braid it because if she didn't have her hair braided before she went to bed, we get all like naughty when she slept, and because of the way she slept. And so I figured that out, right? And it's there. I get that there's a separation of things. You're like, you know, if you're in a household, there's certain things one of you does more often than the other one, maybe all the time. But when kids are involved, right, especially when kids are involved, because I think that changes the entire equation with things. You can't just fully siphon off aspects of your life when there's a child that is going to end up being harmed by it. Maybe it's not always like deathly harmed, but harmed in one way or another, because what if your partner does get gravely ill or gets the flu or has to go, maybe they're going to a funeral or something, whatever it is where they're going to be gone. It's never a situation where it's not like like if I'm teaching where I can just call in and just cancel class for a week. Right. It's not like another job where I can be like, oh, well, somebody else will handle what's going on, or I can bring in somebody else to do what I'm doing. Right. You're going to have some point in your life where you have to be a fucking full parent, a solo parent, right, for a period of time. Right. You'd be very lucky to never get in that situation. And so, yeah.
I mean, I also think remembering that this is a choice, and that's I think people. There's a reason there's the term weaponized incompetence. Like they are weaponizing their inability, and like they are doing it on purpose. To your point with the hair braiding, you didn't know how to braid hair. You didn't just say, well, I'll never do her hair again. You have to do it every time. You learned how to braid hair. Like a lot of these tasks, these men do know how to do. You know how to find where something is. You ask. Then you know where it is. Like If you don't know where the diapers are, ask where the diapers go. Put them there, and then you put them back in that same location. Period.
God,
Easy.
if you don't know, that's also real quick though. If you don't know where the fucking diapers are,
Red
why
flag.
aren't you changing diapers?
Yeah, Jesus.
Good God, I hear about guys that don't like. Oh, I didn't change. She did all the diapers. What?
Do you know how many diapers that is?
That's so many diapers.
That's wild. But it's all of these things. Like, they know how to do them. They're choosing not to. And like I think you've said it a couple of times, but it just facilitates the dynamic to let it all fall apart when they're gone. Because then they say, "See, I told you I can't do it. This is what happens when you leave me to do it." Like, there are women who literally don't leave the home, who don't plan trips, who don't see their friends, who when they go out, they're glued to their phone waiting for an emergency text because their husbands have taught them they cannot be trusted. That's horrifying. That's so sad that like these women can't do anything, which is exactly what the men want. But the men get to go, do their golf trips and their guy nights.
Because the house will be fine.
Yeah. And it's like most of the skills they literally know how to do. And any of the skills they don't know how to do, it's because they haven't been doing them. Like, you're not born knowing how to change a diaper. I hate to tell you. There's so many skills that are
It's not like this exceptional skill that like it's not.
Yeah, oh my! The way she does it.
Yeah, she can jump 6 feet in the air. I can't do that. That's valid. That is a valid thing to complain about. Changing a fucking diaper, making formula, cooking an egg, whatever it is. Like those are not like
giving your kids a bath.
Yeah, knowing how to do it. Like it's not. These are not skills that take a gargantuan effort to learn. Like, it's like, well, I better learn to play the violin, right? That is a long path you have to do. This is the simplest things that you can learn in days, if not hours, that they're choosing to refuse not to do. Because the other aspect of it, and this is the part that pisses me off, and there's another video I mentioned I'm gonna do a video on something related to this. They talk, well, the home is my job, he has his job, right? But what about when you're both home? Like, if you want to say during the 8 hours to 10 hours, however long, if during that time of the day, this is my job, that's his job, beautiful. That's fantastic. You separate those things however you need to. He comes home though. Then the job, you're both at that point parents, right? You don't just get, it's acceptable that he only has to work 8 hours and you have to work 24 hours a day? How do you think that's a fair exchange in any way? Because his brings a paycheck, right? Because we can commodify the work he does in that instance.
But it's so rare that that's even happening anymore. So half the time that's being said, the woman also works in some capacity. Job, Like, it's statistically, it is so rare for it to be a one income household. So it's like, when I hear those videos, I'm like, okay, first of all, you're an influencer. So this is your job.
The video I'm responding, the one I'm going to make the response video to, she says like, well, I wouldn't expect him to be able to do my job. Like, he wouldn't expect me to do his job. She also has a book that she wrote. She's a podcaster, has like hundreds of thousands of followers online. So no, the comparison would be, I wouldn't expect him to know how to run my social media because that's my job. That's what I do. That's what I'm doing to make my money. That's a separate skill set that there's no real reason for him necessarily to have to learn that skill set. But your kids, parenting your kids, that is a necessary skill set that you need to learn. You can't simply cordon those off into being, well, that's my job and he just does his job at work.
Well, it's just like the idea that, women become mothers and become parents, and then some men become dads for the title. Like, literally, they just want the title dad, the role dad, but they don't want to have any of the responsibility. And that is just wild. Like, if you bring a child into this world, you are responsible for that child. You don't get to just say, I'm a dad, and then leave it all up to the mother. Like, that's insane.
You talk about this is going to open up a can of worms that we don't have time to unpack though. But like the issue I've had with so many of these guys that are out there is like, oh, like the women don't want a traditional man anymore. It's like, well, because the world has changed. A quote unquote traditional man, right? This is not the 1950s anymore, right? She'll leave me if I because she can get a job and a bank account now, right? There's the reality is they're not the value that most men bring as the caretaker, right, of the breadwinner. What I'm trying to use the old school terms has changed. Society has changed, right? And there's so many men that are being taught because their fathers did it a certain way, and they don't understand why can't I do it that way? Because we don't live in 1950 anymore. We don't live in 1970. We don't live in 2000 anymore, right? The world has changed. If you don't change, then we end up getting the shit we have right now.
I also have never, ever seen a man who can be, quote unquote, a traditional man talk about that. Like, it is never the men who can 100% financially provide for a woman. It is never the men who can provide to the point that the woman can buy anything she wants. Because sometimes men will do that, but it'll be a means of control. She doesn't have access to money. What is traditional? What is a traditional man? If you take away elements of control, because so much of that was control. It was that they didn't want women to have access, to your point, to bank accounts, to resources, to land. Women could not have things of their own. They had to pair with men to get them. If anything, the man was the middleman for her to have anything. So that is an issue of control. That's not tradition. That is that they didn't want the women to be able to thrive on their own. It wasn't just women just love being at home. They didn't have a choice. They didn't have an option. They didn't have anywhere to go. Where were they meant to go?
In short, no, she doesn't. Back to the original video. No, she doesn't appreciate the house falling apart. She appreciates being appreciated. Right? Yeah. It feels good to be appreciated. It doesn't feel good to have the house fall apart in order to feel appreciated. Right. It's a subtle difference, but you can see it.
Yeah, it's just a small thing. Yeah, come on, ladies. You can tell us. I hope he got roasted in those comments, because I can imagine.
There was quite. I was a little worried, because sometimes you see those videos and they get to the side of the
wrong
internet
side
that validates. Yes, thank you. It does feel great. It's the only time, because it's the only time I get any sort of validation.
Bing, bing, bing.
Reagan, where can people find us off of the podcast?
Off of the podcast, you can find both of us on our socials. We have the podcast YouTube page. I have my YouTube page, Reagan Reacts. You have your YouTube page, right? Do you put anything on? You're doing long form now. So it's just this.
All sorts of cool stuff now. You'll see. I have a whole, It's basically, if you like my Substack essays, you'll like my YouTube, because I'm turning those into long form kind of YouTube essays.
And we love that for you. And then we're on the talk. We're on Instagram. We're all over the place. And the Patreon.
And the Patreon.
To the Patreon, please. It's unhinged.
We get a full pre-show every single week.
Except the past 2 weeks.
We'll
tell you why, though.
We'll find out where we've been.
And how we met and how it went.
Yes.
Because that's on this week's pre-show. Other than that, friends, we will see you next week.
Bye. Oh, and I love you.
I got some good advice for you.